On the Radio is brought to you by Zurich Insurance, the perfect place to catch up with all things Melbourne. If you enjoy this content and want more inside access from the team, make sure you visit the club website.
Oh, he's been winning lately, which has been nice. Change for Melbourne supporters, undefeated after 8 rounds of footy. He won at the negotiating table too. Got himself a nice juicy one there, Whispers.
Gary, as we like to say, he got the bag.
He got the lot and he joins us on the line. Christian, welcome.
How are you guys? You good?
You got the bag, Christian. Well done.
Do you feel relieved? You're relieved that's out of the way?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, I do. I think if I'm going to stay at the club, there's no point holding contract talks till the end of free agency. I want to be where I'm at, and we talked to him, and we can negotiate it, and here we are, 7 years. So, yeah.
No, you did your bit too, because you have been playing unbelievable football last year, the early part of this year. How long were the negotiations in train for?
It's actually a good question. Not sure, actually. Probably about 2 or 3 weeks, I think. I always knew I was going to sign there, so the negotiations were never going to be a lengthy process. I knew that this is where I want to be, so it was a matter of just letting the club know, and the club was sort of quick to get something going, and so are we. So, yeah, and for me, I wanted it done before the end of next year. I felt like the added extra pressure of stress of free agency was something I didn't want to do, and even though I was going to stay, there's no point having that stress where I can just sort of eliminate it and sign, this year.
Now that it's all done, and I'll only ask you one more question about this before we move on and talk about other things, but there was a report that Collingwood were extremely interested in you. Was a figure ever tabled to you from Collingwood?
Yeah, Tony Shaw came to my house and negotiated something. So nothing at all. Nothing that I heard of, other than that article that I didn't really know what made sense. But no, nothing at all. No.
All right, let's get on to the actual game stuff. I mean, even in your wildest dreams, I doubt whether you could think that 8 and zip might have been the result of a big pre-season, but that's where you're at right now, and you'd take it, I'm suggesting.
Yeah, we'll take any win. 8-0 is an amazing start, and now I wouldn't have thought we'd be 8-0. But I think that's the good thing about this footy club at the moment is we're sort of just taking 1 week at a time, and we start each week 0-all, and we just try and gain, just try and improve and develop each week, and we don't like to look at the last 7 rounds. We like to focus on the present, focus on the next game. So to be 8-0 is a very, very good start.
So 1 year to another, what's the big change, do you think, that's taken place? There's lots of speculation about what was said and the mindset of the group and what sort of manner they wanted to adopt. What's from the horse's mouth? How do you see the biggest change?
Oh, I think it's very, very evident, and a lot of people are talking about it. It's just how unselfish we are. And, we're playing as a team, and I think, over the off-season, over the pre-season, we sort of sat down, or over the off-season, we sort of sat down with Glenn Bartlett, a few of us, and a few of the leaders and the coaches, and just wanted to make changes to this club, what needs to work, what needs to be thrown out. And for us, it was mainly about the culture. We need to improve this culture of the footy club. You look at the top 4 sides in Geelong and Richmond and Sydney and teams like that who have had success for decades. Their culture is what stands out. Doesn't matter, the player or who it is, it's about culture. And for us, we want to have a culture similar to that. We want to be respected. We didn't want to be an inconsistent team. We wanted to be a team that, win or lose, we play our brand of footy, no matter what. And that was probably the biggest thing in pre-season. We sort of put words to paper and we sort of said we're going to do this, this and this. And, the last 7 years I've been there, we've always done that. We've always put, we want to be respected. We want to be tough. We want to be fearless. We want to be, good to each other and unselfish. But I just felt like the mentality of this group was, we're sick of this. Like, we've done this for so long. And I think as well that guys like myself and Angus Brayshaw and Clayton Oliver and Jake Lever, we're all hitting that age now where we're 25 now. Like, it's sort of, for me, it was a little bit of time to grow up a little bit, just to, to mature a little bit more and lead this team to where we can get it to.
Hey, Christian, it's interesting you say what you just did then, because I'm sure that those conversations took place at Melbourne prior to this off-season. So what was it different? Why was it different this time that you had all bought into that?
Yeah, it's actually a very good question. I think probably something to do with last year. I think losing 2 games last year in Cairns, and they were too easy not easy. That's bad of me to say that. Sorry. 2 games where we should have won. I think being in Cairns against Fremantle and Sydney, and we felt like our season on the line, and when we lost both of them, I felt like last year's season was a stab in the heart, to be honest, and I felt like we deserved to make finals, but nothing's deserved in this game. You got to go and get it yourself, and that was probably the biggest shift. Is you got to respect each opposition and just that consistency piece. And I felt like this year during the preseason, we've all held each other accountable. We're a lot more respectful to each other, but also we hold each other accountable. Training standards, the way we speak to each other. There's just a range of things that we've sort of improved, and it's been a ripple effect. As soon as one changes, you get 2, 3, then the rest of it you got 44 on board, and I felt like that's what we're doing this year.
I think your maturity part of it's really important too.
Yeah.
Like that's just from a supporter looking in. I mean, that can take some time. You can't just say to young blokes with young heads on their shoulders, "Hey, be mature next year." I mean, that comes with experience and it comes with learning and making mistakes and getting back into it. Would that be a fair enough comment?
Yeah, no, for sure, and that's probably the biggest thing as well. When you're a young kid, Jack Riewoldt said it on 360 with me the other day. He said, as a young kid, your first goal is to play games, and then your next goal after that is to play 50 games, then 100, and it sort of gets to that point where you go, all right, it's not about individual success anymore or a team or individual accolades. It's about let's get this team to where it can get to. You look at teams like Richmond. It's taken a fair while for them to sort of get into where they are now. But then look at them go now. They've been an unbelievable team, and same as Goodwood as well. I mean, Goody's only been our coach for 5 or 6 years now, and it takes a long time for people to sort of gel together, to get people to get to know each other. And for me, like I've had a rocky start to my career, but last 2 or 3 years, I felt like I've definitely matured off field, and that's what sort of helped me as a footballer on the field.
Talking to Christian Petracca, who got the bag. It was announced last week. He's got, it's a 15-year contract for $20 million or something that's going to set him up for the rest of his life. Hey, we talked about Tom McDonald early in this program and how impressed we've been with his form this year. But what happened to him in the off-season too, where he was sort of dangled out there as a trade player? You've brought in defenders. They've taken his spot. You brought in forwards for his position as well. But he said, nah, look, I'm going to actually stand firm here, and he's producing out there on the field. How much do you admire the way that he's gone about his work?
Yeah, it's been awesome to see. He's changed his whole diet. He only eats meat, which is kind of funny.
What?
So, yeah, he's on an all-meat diet. So, which
all meat?
Different to the other key forward who's all he eats is vegetables. So we've got a good mix up. We've got a good mix up forward.
Hey, when you say all meat, just right, when you say all meat, so he's on a meat specific diet, is he?
Gets the 2 beef patties. Yeah. I presume there's some sides to it, but I'm 90% of it would be protein.
Protein, yeah.
Correct.
I don't care what he eats. He keeps playing like that.
That's what I sort of said. I don't really care what you do as long as you're kicking goals.
There'll be a rush to the butchers today.
So yeah, for him, it's been unbelievable. I think the biggest thing that I loved about him is that the fact that the club sort of wanted to get rid of him, and again the maturity piece for him to come back and sort of come back and go, well, I like the fact he sort of stuck it back up at the club. To be honest, it's sort of. I think anyone. I mean, I'd be similar in that position too. If the club wanted to get rid of you, you want to come back even harder and try and improve. That's just an individual who's competitive and has that competitive nature. I think anyone would be in that position. And similar to Alex Neil-Bullen, they wanted to trade him too, and he's come back and in the leadership group, and he's developed as a great forward as well. So. But for Tommy, he just covers the ground really well, and the way he's marking the ball, it's back to 2018 for him. And he covers the ground so well. He's so versatile. He can pick the ball up off the ground. He can tackle. He can put pressure on. And I thought him and Brownie on the weekend, even though it was wet weather, we're not getting outmarked. They'll bring the ball to ground, and as a key forward, that's what you want to do.
So, Christian, all these great, and the stories if Melbourne supporters are loving and can pinching themselves at the moment, but realising that it counts for nothing, and I'm sure you understand that. But tell us about Sam Wiedemann, who's he was sort of tracking the same way as Ben Brown and having to come back from injury. It was nominally almost while Tom McDonald was in sort of the limbo, he was the man that was going to lead this forward line. Now, at the moment, he can't get a look in. So how do you handle that as a group? Do you as a leader, do you talk to him individually? How's Sam tracking with that sort of stuff?
Oh, Sam's an amazing person. He, if it was to happen to anyone, it'd be to Sam. I mean, as in the way he's approached the situation, he's been so team orientated. He understands the position he's in, and the biggest thing that we're sort of told to our VFL players who are playing there is you can get better at the VFL, and it's not just about improving AFL or playing at AFL to improve as a player. VFL is such a great pathway into AFL, and for guys like Sam, it's such a tough position he's in, but he's ready whenever he gets his chance. Whatever happens, he knows he'll be in, and it's only round 8. As a footy club, we want to be playing our best footy towards the back end of the year, and no doubt that I believe Sam will be in that team. But there's so many other guys that who are stiff. I mean, you got guys like Tom Sparrow who had such a great pre-season and just stiff because the midfield's just functioning so well, and Nathan Jones as well, and Toby Bedford and Kay Chandler, and you look at someone like Harry Petty who just came in for Tomlinson, who during the wet weather I thought played a really good game, and he's only going to get better. He's only 22 and played 4 or 5 games, so. There's so many guys who at the moment is stiff to not get in, but I think if you want a problem to have at the footy club, I think that's the problem you want. You want depth. You want people who can come in who are ready-made players and perform their role for the team.
Did Ben Simmons give you a call when you got the bag last week or not? Did you hear from him at all?
No, I haven't yet. So
your bag's a little bit smaller than his bag, isn't it?
I think he makes that in a week. So,
hey, Christian, great to talk to you. We've loved watching you. I think the whole footy world's loved watching you play over the last couple of years. The Demons are going nicely, and much work to be done before there's anything to get excited about. But it's a terrific start, and thanks for jumping on this morning.
Easy. Thank you very much, guys.